So if all goes well in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and pull the fairings off. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but I guess we'll find out as we go. Here we go. For my first attempt, I'm going to go over here on the, I guess you call it the driver's side. I'm going to start with the, one of the wonderful affixing devices, bolts, whatever the hell up here. Then I'm going to go underneath it, and there's two down here, right at the bottom of this hump. There's two underneath it, and then one at the very front. Now let me just pan over here so that we'll all be on the same page. Ow! Mirror to the head never hurts. Never feels good either. But there's one right here in the front. Up here, of course, you can't really see your exhaust pipes and all that wonderful stuff. So let's get this going. I know previously people have asked how to get to the fuses. If you take off this wonderful bolt here, you know, here's the clutch, here's the bolt right smack dab in the center of this view. You got to pull one out here, and then there's one over on the other side of the bike. We'll go around here. And here it is, and in just a moment I'm going to pull that off. Okay, so now I got the bolt out of this side, and if we come over to the other side, bolts out of this side as well. Be careful with these little pieces. They're almost like little metal insets. You can drop these, you can lose them, and you don't want to. So I'm just going to pull that off. Now in order to pull this off, basically you're fighting industrial strength Velcro. You're going to feel like you're going to break something. Pull up, you know, with moderate force on that side. Come over to the other side, pull up on that with moderate force, and then slide the entire thing towards the front. So you can see my hand here, and I'm going to push it towards the front of the tank. Now this should all come apart. You just kind of wiggle it a little bit until it does, and voila. Now people kept asking, where is your fuse box? You know, is it under the tank? Well, yes and no. It's over here. I could have sworn it. Where is it? I saw it before. What the heck is wrong with me? Oh, here we go. So, right here is our fuse box. It's under the driver's side of the bike. Underneath that nice plastic piece we just took off, there's a 10 amp signal fuse, 15 amp for the headlight, 10 amp for the ignition, 10 for the brake and horn, 15 amp for the fan, 10 amps for the meter and instrumentation, 15 amps for the fuel injection, 10 amp spare and a 15 amp spare in here. And I'm just tempted to look at this because I've never looked in it before. And voila, I hate these. They're those little micro fuses. And it looks like somebody's too fucking lazy to put these things in right side up so they all match. You know, pet peeve of mine, but hey. The heck with it. So that's how you remove that. Putting that back on, that's a complete pain in the rear. It's doable, but it's a pain in the rear. And just zoom in on this. You know, maybe this will help somebody at some point. But there we go. Now getting that on. That's a lot of fun. When you go to put this on, this thing has these points. Oh, it would help if I put it where my hand was. Here, well, let's make sure this view works good. You have these points right here. This is a hole right here. Of course, it's hard to see because my lighting sucks. But there's a hole right here. When you're putting it in, the plastic has to go this way, towards your tank, so that you get it just right. And let me show you in the light on the inside of this wonderful bezel cover. On the back, you will see the wonderful points. There's one right up here, and there's one over here, right here. Here's our little bezel pieces where the bolts go through. It's a complete pain in the rear to get running. So in order to get this on, this is, as you can see, just lined up. That's about it. I usually go with the sides in first and then push it towards until it engages. I'm going to try that. We'll see how that works. Okay, a change to those instructions. Make sure that you line up the top piece right here. Push that down in first and then line your sides up. It's kind of squirrely, but you'll get it. So So as you're taking the fairings off, beware. This little sucker has 3 pieces. Basically, you got your bolt itself right here. Then you got a metal, we'll call it like a grommet, but it isn't. And then you got a nylon spacer. Make sure you don't lose those. And of course, this one was coming off of the driver's side over here. Obviously, it looks pretty nasty, and it's been kind of tightened down a couple times because it kept vibrating. And let me continue going. My next stop is going to be up here, over by the tank. Okay, for our next screw, I'm going to, well, bolt in this case on the fairing. I'm going to do the one up here by the instrument panel. There's our instrument panel up there, handlebars, and down here. I'm going to pull that off. Okay, for our next fairing bolt, I'm going to come down here. It's over by the kickstand. There it is. Center of the screen right now. I'm going to remove that sucker. Then we're going to do the 2 push pins right here, and then the one at the very beginning. Okay, on that bottom fairing nut, we had some red Loctite. I guess it's Loctite, although it's crumbling off, like it's not red Loctite. So I'm going to be using green or blue on this, just in case, when I install that again. And that, once again, is the one from down over here by the kickstand. It's over where your drain is for your fuel tank, which is right here. And then the other one, which comes off, I think it's off the air box, that I really don't understand the purpose for it. Maybe it's in case you tip it over so they can tell. I don't know. I know there's a couple questions that people have had about this little wiring harness connector right here. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it. It's right here. Of course, like, you can't see it. But it looks like it's 4-prong. It has a little cover over it. This is for the oxygen sensor that's not in the American model, at least not outside of California. It's not hurting anything. It's just back there. So, you know, people have taken off the sprocket cover right here, and they get all upset because they see it. Well, you know what? You're not missing anything. Don't worry about it. Move on. Now, without having the fairings fully off, we're still able to get to quite a good portion of everything in here. See quite a bit of stuff. You'll notice up here, I got this out. The grooves, it's pretty nasty, all the dirt and grime down there. Hopefully going to be cleaning that off before I put it back together, because that's just nasty looking. Be extremely gentle with all the plastic. You don't want to break any of the tabs off of this, or anything like that, because it'll be a you-know-what to reassemble. Notice how they have these bits of foam here to try to keep it from vibrating. And there you go. Okay, those stupid plastic retainers I was talking about, they're on the bottom of the fairing. There was 3 of them in a row, basically 1 on the end, then 2 underneath. Well, here's the different profile views of them, so you know what you're fighting with. Basically, you got to pop that top part up. So I can get my screwdriver here to kind of demonstrate what we're hoping to accomplish. Basically, flathead screwdriver. And what you do is you get in here and you get underneath, and then you rotate the screwdriver blade until it pops up. And then you want to pop this up. Now, another view of these is like this. Pulled 2 out so it'd be easier to know basically what you're looking at. These things are freaking miserable. I think when I put them back in, well, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do when I put them back in. I hate them. But once you get all 3 out, you're in a much better place, a lot happier. Don't be surprised. You're going to be cleaning that bottom fairing. You're going to get all kinds of crap out of there. In my case, I had dirt that was wedging these in. I could clean the bike more often, but I use it for commuting, so it's not like, it's not being ridden every day or something. So there's those. The 2 fairing halves just came apart, no problem. Let me see if I can get a good shot of this. I doubt it. But there's our exhaust. And here you go. And you might be able to see the clips. You can see the holes now where the clips go. If you look careful, one is back here, pointing with the screwdriver. The other one is right here. And the last one you may be seeing is right here, this matches up with the other half, and every one of these is interlocking. There's a top and a bottom. It appears that the fairing on the right hand side, at least as I see it, is the one that goes underneath. But you know, it varies, but you'll figure it out, no problem whatsoever. This fairing's pretty much ready to come off of here now. There's a push pin or a screw or something up here, if I can find my finger. Yes, I lost my finger on a motorcycle. No, not that kind of an injury. There we go. But as we go up our fork, up, it's right up here. Here's our right hand blinker, and then right up here, you'll find it up in here. And it's one of those old push pins. I hate these damn things, and I'd like to smack the guy who designed it. But it is what it is. We can't change it now. And the other thing you'll find is some spots. I don't know what all the deal is up here, but I think it's just how it interlocks. And you'll find another pin here between the two halves. And more likely than not, there's probably some behind the windshield, but I'm not pulling all that off. I just want to be able to pull enough off so that people can do maintenance without feeling that they're going to break something. Oh, that's interesting. If you're looking at this, you may sit there and say, well, you know, how'd you get your legs underneath the bike? I didn't. That's actually the reflection off of the paint. Yeah, that is wicked. That was interesting. But, oh well. So, let's continue on to the other side. Now that we have this side, you know, nice and loose, get to anything you need. Be gentle with it. You don't want to break it. You don't want to warp it. But in general, you know, now you can come over here, you can get to your stator, i.e. alternator, according to some people. You can also see your wonderful starter up here. And then we have the, I like to call this the tattletale line. I believe that's hooked up to the air box to see whether or not oil or something blew up there. Don't quote me on it, I'm not sure. Somebody from Kawasaki probably knows. And you can see the radiator in here, and your hoses, all the different stays. Oh, we got a relay back here. Ooh, that popped nicely. So there's a nice little relay back there. Not sure how we're... Yeah, there's the relay. Probably the flasher. No, it can't be a flasher, it's 2-pin. Oh, could be. I don't know. But it's there, whatever it is. Okay, so now we're on to what I like to call the passenger side. Yes, you'll notice there's no oil in the sights because it's on the side stand. Get over it. First we're going to remove this wonderful bolt here. Then there's one above it, right up here. And of course it's about ready to start raining on my freaking dumb self. And then we're going to come over to the front. And up underneath the front, which of course we can't see, there's one up here. I believe that feels like a push pin. And then we still have the one in the center. I'm not pulling it all the way off. I just want to show people enough to be able to get in there in case they need to. You'll notice at the bottom right now, there's more than enough room where the push pin's pulled to get to that oil filter. I told people, you know, you don't have to tailor the whole fairing off to get to the oil filter. Well, this is what I meant, because right now, even if I didn't have all these bolts taken off the side here, you'd still be able to get to that filter, no problem. And once again, filter's back here, you know, behind the pipes. So, okay, another note is that the bottom one is red again. Okay, so I just pulled the 2 bolts on the passenger side, the one right here, as you may be able to tell, the one further down right here, and then we went over here and we pulled out this one right here, and the one down here that mounts at the bottom. Now this one was red once again. There's holes that line up, and we have all kinds of room here now, more or less, to get it pretty much any adjustment or anything you need to get to. Notice how your antifreeze collection bottles right here, mine looks kind of low because of the fact that it's about 40 out, 50 maybe, I don't know. But I'm noticing here we have our clutch adjustments, and you can see Yeah, here's our clutch adjustments and idle adjustments and all that shit. Okay, the one last thing I had noticed that I think is extremely important. Here's a relay for your starter. This is underneath the seat area. Tank, tail, then seat. Extremely important. I believe there's 2 fuses at the bottom where the connection is. One right about there at the bottom, and then one over here on the side. But don't quote me on it, so try looking. If the event you can't get it to start no matter what, it won't turn over.